Now, a lot of my work has been on preventing mass atrocity. Mass atrocity is the slaughter of unarmed civilians. That is what has happened in Camp Ashraf, and it is now. And I commend to you a small book on mass atrocity response operations that I put together with some colleagues from the U.S. Peacekeeping Institute. It's available on the web, but it talks about the challenges of responding to mass atrocity. And here, I think, is a place for us to roll up our sleeves and dig in. This is a very powerful tool for focusing attention and for galvanizing resources and commitment. And I think it is a place that the Camp Ashraf impending crisis cries out for analysis. And I would urge you to spend some time trying to think in very concrete terms about what would be required in the event that a political solution is not attained beforehand. So I guess what I would like to say in conclusion is that I do see a very special American responsibility to ensure the safety of those in Camp Ashraf until their final status is determined. And clearly it needs to be a priority to determine that final status, to work not simply with our erstwhile allies, the Iraqi government, which has been perpetrating these crimes, but also with our European friends and the international community. Because sovereignty is an important value, but it's not the only value. And the practice of foreign policy is about reconciling competing values. And here, in the case of our interests and our humanitarian values, we have a very clear call to action to focus attention on this and do it now. And if values and interests, when combined, are the most powerful call to action, you have an extraordinary narrative to tell. It needs to be explained in a way that can be heard in the context of a town and a country that is dealing with many challenges. But you have humanitarian arguments on your side, you have values on your side, and they call for action in the context of very clear American interests in ultimately changing the nature of Iranian governance to allow for democracy and freedom for the Iranian people. And so I look forward to continuing the dialogue with you about, practically speaking, how we might do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mitch, and thank you, the organization from Northern California, for sponsoring this very important forum. I was just in the United Kingdom, and I'm sure some of you have seen it, the wartime bunker of Winston Churchill. And his words, never, never, never surrender. And I want to compliment you and your colleagues, Mrs. Rajavi, and the hundreds of people that will watch this, particularly the residents and victims in Camp Ashraf. And you are leading the fight for freedom in Iran. You fight in a much more difficult and much more dangerous place. And we compliment you on your bravery. We offer our condolences for your sacrifices, but we offer you our encouragement. Churchill also said once that the Americans could be counted upon to do the right thing in the end after they've exhausted every other possibility. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit today, briefly, if I might. My association with this issue really goes back to 1996, the Khobar bombing, which you remember took place in the eastern province of Saudi Arabia.